Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a fabulous day. Thank you so much for stopping by. Well, today we're going to create a project for Spellbinders, and we are using a brand new collection at the Spellbinders shop. I'm super excited that Spellbinders came out with these. This is called the Essential Duo Lines Glimmer Plates. It's called the Glimmering Essentials, and there are squares, circles, ovals, and rectangles. I didn't show you the rectangles, but there are a rectangle set, and I have them. I just have them set out for another project. So we are going to jump in and we're going to create a card with the squares. Now the card that we're going to create today you could actually use with all of the Duo Lines glimmer plates, and so I wanted to keep it pretty clean and simple. I'm bringing in my little trimmer here, and we're going to trim some foil with a brand new foil. There's two brand new foils to the shop. There is a mini rainbow stripe, very pretty, and then there is this is called the lavender petal foil. Now if there was a rainbow of these colors, I think they would probably be my favorite because they have that shine of the foil, but they are not as foily. I don't know how to explain it. Kind of almost a matte, but a creamy matte, almost like a sorbet, but super fun. So that's what we're going to use. I'm just going to trim down one strip because that's what we're going to use for the sentiment, and then I'm going to trim down a wider strip for my flowers. Now the flowers that I'm going to be using for my card today are pretty simple too. They are called the Glimmering Layered Flowers. There's 2 flowers, 1 leaf, and there's coordinating dies. So it's a 6-piece set, but the flowers are like the perfect size because you could layer them together or they're pretty on their own. So we're going to foil flowers and create a background with our Essential Duo Lines Glimmer Squares. We are going to go ahead and trim down a strip for our flowers, and then also a 1/2-inch strip with our pretty lavender petal for our sentiment. Okay, these are all good to go. Now next we're going to bring in another foil. I'm going with some springy colors for my birthday card today. My next color is called Moon Dust, and I thought the blues and purple, it's kind of like a tealish blue, real pretty. I'm going to go ahead and trim down a wider strip that will fit my Essential Duo Lines Glimmer Square plates here. I'm going to go ahead and take this down. I have my machine heating off, my Glimmer hot foil system heating off to the side. We're going to bring that in just a minute, and then we're going to start our foiling process. Now again, today's cards are going to be very, very simple, clean, but lots of layers, and I love the way this looks. The paper that I'm adding to my Glimmer machine platform here is just regular printer paper that I quartered. So it's 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. I use this as a guide to where I could place my plates. For when I flip over my panel, I just line up the bottom corners to my printer paper, and I know it's going to be perfectly centered. But I'm adding 3 of my plates. Then I'm going to add my sentiments. This sentiment set is called More Sentiments. I chose Happy Birthday to You. It's pretty blocked off and basic, but again, this is a very clean card, and I need to flip this over. Wouldn't do no good if I had it backwards. Your glimmer plates always go face up, and then your foil will always go face down. I'm just going to trim a square of my Moon Dust foil, put that over my Duo Lines, and then I'll take my thin 1/2-inch strip and put it over my sentiment. Next we're going to go ahead and add our cardstock. You can see we're just lining those corners up on the bottom. My platform's already ready, so I'm just going to disconnect it from the docking station, and then I'll run it through my Platinum 6. And after we have it ran through, we have a beautiful foiled square background, and then we have a pretty purple petal, lavender petal sentiment. I'm going to go ahead and take this off. It foils beautifully. Happy birthday to you. You can see it's not as shiny as regular foil, but it does have that matte kind of look to it. Okay, now I have the three of the Duo Lines, and I love the way this looks, but my smallest Duo Line glimmer plate is crooked, and I just don't think that's going to look very pretty, so I'm going to do a quick fix in just a minute. I'm going to put these off to the side to cool those down, and then we're going to glimmer our flowers and our leaf. We're going to put our flowers side by side, and then we'll put our leaf below, because we're going to use the same foils, but we're just going to separate them a bit. I have the moon dust, the blue foil for my leaves, and then we're going to add some more of that lavender petal for our flowers. I'll add my cardstock. And I know when you have your glimmer plates and on your platform, it's kind of best to evenly spread them out. That way when you run them through your die cutting machine, it's just a little more even of a foil print. Okay, there's my flowers. So pretty. I love this color combination. And we're going to set these aside. I'm going to leave my leaf on there. We're going to foil that leaf one more time. And then I'm going to bring in that smallest duo line that we used. We're going to actually redo that one on some white cardstock, and then I'm going to trim it down and pop it right over our crooked one. I'm going to go ahead and find a piece of cardstock. I was going to use this, there's a lot of excess white cardstock on that panel, but I think we better be safe and grab another scrap piece. We'll just place that here, build our sandwich, and we'll press the timer, and then when the indicator light stops flashing, it tells me that I can run it through my die cutting machine. Now in the meantime, I'll take the coordinating dies to my glimmering layered flower set, and we'll tape those down and get those ready to die cut. So these foiled beautifully. I'm going to go ahead and die cut out that leaf, and then also we'll just trim apart our smallest square here. We're going to turn our machine off and set it aside and bring in our paper trimmer. The panel that we use is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. I'm going to trim 1/4 inch off of every edge, so I have 1/4 inch showing on my card base, and I'm going to end up popping it up. And I do like a border around my card base, so this is, I guess, one of my signatures. I don't think there's ever a card that, well, once in a while I'll do the whole card front, but just love the way this looks. I'm going to trim down my little smallest square, and after we have that trimmed down, this square is going to go popped up right in the center. Now I'm going to add a lot of there's not much to this card, but I am going to add a lot of dimension. If you guys want to flatten it, I would maybe skip adding some foam adhesive between the layers of the flowers or even behind this panel. I'm going to add 1 layer of foam adhesive and then add our flower to the center of that small square. I'll add another piece of foam another foam square, and then we'll pop up our smaller flower and just layer it right on top. And I think that looks lovely. We're going to add foam adhesive behind our 2 leaves, and we'll tuck them, just one up here into the top left or top right corner, and then we'll tuck this one on the bottom right corner. And when you layer it right on your crooked one, I got lucky, it's not going to show at all, so it's going to work out great. Now my balance is off, so I did end up foiling 1 more leaf. I just popped it up and put it on the opposite side here, and I think 3 is going to work out perfect for that square. So I did also add some foam adhesive behind my panel. It's actually double-sided foam sheets. I have a whole bunch of colored ones, so I just trimmed it down to put on the back side here. We're going to add our panel to our A2 size card base, and I just love the clean look of this. If you want to add a little bit of shading with some inks behind it, you could, but I think with the foil and the geometric shape of this, it's pretty basic. I just love the way this looks. I did add foam adhesive behind this square. We're going to add it over our crooked square. And then we're going to bring in bells and whistles. I'm just going to bring in 1 little drop. These are called rainbow drops. And there is a purple one that coordinates real good with that lavender petal foil. I'm just going to add the smallest one in the set to the center of my flower, and then that finishes off my card today, guys. Now if you are a Glimmer fan and love to glimmer, I think these plates are like your standard basic stash sets. And I'll list the entire collection below. Again, there's 4 of them. There's a square, there is a rectangle, there's a circle, and an oval, so your basic shapes, and they're all the duo lines, which is really nice, and they're meant to coordinate too with your central dies, so you could die cut these out also. Now before we go, I am going to take my Copic marker. This is a very light shade. It's actually BG11. I'm going to add a little shading to my leaves, and then I'm going to take my purple Copic marker. It's BV00, and I'm going to add a little highlight to my flower. I thought it needed just a little extra something. But that finishes my card today, guys. If you want to see still shots, my blog link's down below. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for stopping by. We will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.